Hello everyone, my name is Holly, and in today's video I'm going to be doing the end of the year book tag. I'm probably a little late on this. I know people have been uploading their tags like toward the beginning of October, but hey, we're doing it at the beginning of November. There are only 2 months left in the year, which is absolutely insane. I don't know how we got here, but we are doing this tag anyways. This tag consists of a bunch of questions about like what your plans are reading wise for the next 2 months. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of planning a little bit too far ahead because I tend to have like a mood switch and decide to like switch out the books that I have chosen for me to read. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to call myself out, and we are going to kind of react to my 2022 TBR video that I uploaded in January. It's a video I do every single year where I make a TBR for myself and try to stick to it the best that I can. And I made one at the beginning of the year, and I'm going to react to it. I'm going to do that later on in the video when we get to a certain question. It's like question 4, I believe. So we're going to start at number 1. And the first question is, are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? Okay, so I have been a notorious DNFer this year. I'm sure there are many books that I have added in my TBR videos, or I told you that I was going to read, and I never brought them up again. That's because I put it down. I have learned this year that when I put down a book, I'm never going to pick it up again. I'm just not going to, even if I say, maybe it's just my mood, and I set it down. That book is long gone. It will never see the light of day ever again, and I've accepted that. So plenty of books I have technically started and never finished this year. I will make a whole video on all the books I DNF'd probably in December, but as of recently I am in the middle of a lot of books I am really enjoying. I think I'm currently in the middle of 3 or 4 books right now. Oh my gosh. So I'll go ahead and show you the first one. The Spare Man, which is a murder mystery sci-fi, and I'm really liking it so far. My main reason for liking it is not only because of the doggo that is in it, which plays a big part in the story, but the main character is very interesting. She suffers from PTSD and muscle aches. She uses a cane, and I just find that perspective really refreshing instead of a character that is just like good at everything. Everything is just perfect in their life, but that is not the case for our main character here. Her and her husband are on this interstellar cruise ship for the honeymoon. Oh, and I should mention the main character is a celebrity too, but she's kind of like incognito on this cruise ship so that she can enjoy herself. Anyways, they are on their way to Mars when there is a murder, and her husband is accused, and like he didn't do it, of course, but I mean maybe he did. I don't know. I need to get to the end of this book to see maybe he did do it. Anyways, I'm really enjoying this. I'm only on like page 50. Alrighty, the next book that I'm in the middle of right now is The Magician's Daughter. This book is really enjoyable so far. It is a January release, so you have a little bit of time to decide if you want to give it a try. I'm about 100 pages into it, and oh my gosh, this book is so beautiful. And also like the chapter headers are really pretty too. So I keep comparing this book to Uprooted, but a way better version of it that's not as annoying. I absolutely adore the main character. I find her life fascinating in the way that she was washed up on shore as a baby and someone took her in, and now she is kind of locked into this tower or like estate mansion thing, and it's really beautiful. It takes place on an island off the shore of Ireland, so you really get that like greenery visuals, and the writing with that is really beautiful. Anyways, her guardian is basically a magician or a wizard, I don't know, whatever word you want to use, and he can turn into a crow, and one day he decides to fly off, but he doesn't ever return, and that makes our main character get a little bit too curious, and she is able to wander out, and it puts her into a lot of danger. I'm really loving it so far. I don't know if I'll finish it before the end of October because I do have some other priority reads. This doesn't come out until January, so I have a little bit more time to get my review out, but I will be reviewing this before the end of the year probably. Oh yes, I am in the middle of 4 books. That is very unlike me. By the way, pretty much all of these questions I have multiple books for. So the third book that I'm in the middle of, and I am on a mission to finish this series before the end of the year. I made a promise to myself at the beginning of the year, probably in my 2022 TBR video, that I was going to finish this series, and I haven't yet. But I am making progress. I am in the middle of When Jackals Storm the Walls, which is book... Which book is this? 5? Book 5? Oh yeah, book 5. It says it right there. I do not, people, want to go into 2023 still in the middle of this series. Anyways, this one, I am almost at the halfway point. And as always, I am absolutely loving this. I have loved every single book in this series so far, and this one is no exception. The plot is really getting into that like end game, and things are getting extra serious, and characters' lives are on the line. And we also have some like new added plot points as well. And I don't know where those plot threads are going, but this is a desert fantasy. If you're looking for one of those, I highly recommend this one. Okay, lastly, I am in the middle of Cold Iron, which I just started the other night actually. This was chosen for me in my fall TBR video where I had a random number generator choose books that I have to read in fall. I'm a little bit behind on those books, but technically I have until December 21st, aka my birthday, because that is the first day of winter. So I still have about 2 months to get through those 4 books. But I'm really enjoying this one so far. I am a little bit cautious because I read The Red Knight by Miles Cameron. I really didn't like it. And one of the reasons was because of the writing. I don't mesh with it too well. It's better in this book for sure, but I mean, it's still there. It's the same author, so of course the writing isn't going to be too different, but the story wise, I'm really liking it so far. Like, this is a fantasy that I desperately needed after reading so many non-fantasy books, and as a fantasy reader, like just going back to my roots and finally picking up a very classic fantasy that I typically really love. It's brought life back into me, and yeah, I'm excited to continue. So speaking of fantasy, the next question is, do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? And no, I don't really. And that kind of reels me back into what I just said. November feels like a dedicated fantasy month for me, whereas October was more of a spooky season. When you're a dedicated fantasy reader and you pretty much read fantasy throughout the entire year, it is nice to take a break from it and focus on like thriller and horror in October. November is where I go back to full fantasy, and I'm really excited about that. So I guess that's my answer, is just going back to reading just fantasy. Next question is there a new release you're still waiting for? Oh yes, baby. The Lost Metal by Brandon Sanderson. This is the 4th and final book in the Alloy of Lost series. I'm very excited for this book. I will definitely have this book read, if not in November, then definitely December. But yeah, this is a November release. I'm sure everyone is going to read this book because it is a Brandon Sanderson release, and we haven't had one of those in a while. I'm very excited to see how the story ends and be with Wax and Wayne and the gang again. Very hyped for that. Okay, so this next question is where we're going to react to my 2022 TBR and totally call me out. So it is, what are 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? All right, so what we're going to do is go to my channel, which is right here, and I have 16.9 subscribers. Please get me out of this hellhole that is 16,000. I have been here for far too long. So we're going to scroll down all the way to about, I don't know, 8 to 9 months ago. All right, here it is. Making my 2022 TBR, books I want to read in 2022. And we are going to choose 3 books that I haven't read from this list, because I know that I have not read all the books here. I just know I haven't. I know I've read a few, but not all of them. Okay, so we are not going to sit here and watch this entire thing. It is almost 13 minutes long. I'm just going to skip through and see which books that I hold up. And I know that's cheating, but I don't got the time for this. So sorry, Past Holly. Let's see. Oh, there's a sponsor. Just skip on through that. I got paid for that, so no need to watch it again. Oh yeah, speaking of this notebook where I was keeping up like a page count every day, I did that for a few months, and then I moved recently in August. I don't know where that freaking notebook went. It just totally disappeared. It's probably up in the boxes upstairs, because we do still have boxes up there of stuff. So it's probably in one of those boxes, but I'm lazy. But I kind of want a new one for 2023. Anyways, let's keep skipping through this. Along the Razors. Oh wait, no, that's not a book. I've read that book. Oh, I know what I'm about to talk about, I think. Never Die. Read it. Good job. Pawn's Gambit. I haven't read that yet. I have not continued on with my Rob J. Hayes' goal where I wanted to read like all of his books this year. I've only read one this year, which was Never Die, and it was a 5-star read. I don't know why I haven't freaking continued his books. Every book that I've read so far has been a 5-star read. Why haven't I continued? So, you know what? We are going to add this book to that list. what are 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? My microphone is in the way. I'm trying to type in my laptop. Pawn's Gambit. You know what? I'll make it my goal to not only finish that trilogy of standalones by Rob J. Hayes, but I'll also try to finish this series as well. So I have 2 series goals to read before the year ends. I think that's doable. So I'm assuming I have the other, Spirits of Vengeance is also right here as well. And yeah, I can read that. Secrets. Whoops. Wait, what is it called? Spirits, not secrets. Whoops. Spirits of Venge. Spirits of Venge. Okay, cool. Oh, I totally forgot I had the Blackhawks on this list. You know what? I'll add it. The Blackhawks. That's an option. Now, I think I've read the rest of the books in this video. Let's see. Yep, Veil of Spears. Read it. Loved it. Beneath the Twisted Trees. Read it. Okay, so this is where A Desert Torn Asunder. Sand of Malice Made, I've read. Theft of Swords. This was my biggest goal of the year, and we did it, people. I'll try to find my review and link it for you if you missed it, but I read this a couple months ago over the summer, and I freaking loved it. I haven't continued with the series yet, but I feel like that is going to be my goal for 2023 is to focus on this series. There's a couple other series I want to finish up first before I totally dedicate my time to this. Let's skip through the rest of this video. She Who Became a Sun, I read. Absinthe. No, I'm not in the mood for that book in particular. Ooh, The Shadow of What Was Lost. I totally forgot that I added that book to this video. You know what? There's no way I can start that. There's no way. You know what? I'm going to push this book to 2023. And it will be another series I can focus on. No, I'm pretty sure that's it. Yeah, that's it for the rest of this video. So honestly, not bad. I have read a lot of the books I had planned to read this year, and there is still time to finish off that list, which we are going to do. What 3 books do you want to read before the year ends? Pawn's Gambit, Spirits of Vengeance, and the Blackhawks, possibly. If not, I could just include Song of Shattered Sands, you know? Okay, moving on. Is there a book that could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? This is a weird question because I feel like I go into every fantasy book thinking that it can be a surprising read. So really any of the books that I've mentioned so far in this video. Honestly, the Blackhawks, that could absolutely be an all-time favorite book for me. It reminds me a lot of Kings of the Wild, which is one of my favorite books. I mean, the cover is very similar. I think it's about a group of mercenaries who go on an adventure, and I love stories like that. So I mean, that could absolutely, I guess it wouldn't be a shock, but it can definitely be a favorite book of the year for sure. And finally, have you already started making reading plans for 2023? I was going to say no, but kind of in this video I have kind of planned on the series that I'm going to be focusing on next year. I also want to do more reading challenges in 2023. I already mentioned to you in my randomly generating my fall TBR video that I am going to be doing that again for every season. So when winter comes, I will be randomly generating my winter TBR and then randomly generating my spring TBR and so on and so on. So I guess that's kind of a challenge. So you guys can look forward to that. Also, I feel like I do this challenge every year where I want to focus on my physical TBR more than my ebook TBR. My Kindle, that's a lost cause, but I mean, it can be a lost cause. It's freaking digital book, so it's not like it's taking up space. But this is absolute chaos. And also maybe try to keep up with new releases a little bit more, even though I'm kind of in really I don't give a shit anymore kind of mood recently, which I mean is a good thing or a bad thing, where I just want to read whatever I want and just upload videos that I think are fun and read books that I want to read, and I don't know, you guys will appreciate those reviews, I think. So yeah, more reading challenges, more randomly generating my TBRs, and get my physical TBR down. Now, Medieval-a-thon, I have really big plans for Medieval-a-thon, but I need to do a lot of planning for that. I literally get questions every week, people asking, when's the next Medieval-a-thon? When is it? 2023, baby. Okay, so that is my end of the year book tag. This is probably a long ass video, I'm sorry. I really had no plans on even filming this video at all, and I decided to do it last minute. Anyways, tell me down below some books that you plan on reading for the year ends, because I would love to know. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up because it really helps me out, and subscribe if you haven't. I upload videos every single week, and until I meet again, happy reading.